Breaking news, folks. Bipartisan group of senators have reached a tentative deal on gun control. But if you're excited about the solutions in the aftermath of that speech, if you're excited about the bipartisan solutions that they came up with, well, let me tell you, it's not that good. So let's see what this bipartisan deal entails. Breaking news, folks.
A bipartisan group of senators has reached a tentative agreement on new gun restrictions, including mental health and school security provisions. Now, it would not raise the minimum age of firearm purchases from 18 to 21. Something President Biden and most Americans had supported.
The bill would include a federal grant program to encourage more states to pass so-called red flag laws.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll fucking work, dude. Yeah. Red states literally famously refused additional free money for healthcare. Okay. Under Obama's administration, red states famously refused Medicaid expansion. Medicaid, not Medicare. Medicaid, which was supposed to, help out poor people with healthcare, right? Under Obamacare. And there was a provision, one way to try to get red states to sign on with Medicaid expansion was by giving them free fucking money. And they famously were like, yeah, no, dog, we're not going to do that, actually. Like, we literally don't fucking care. So if you think these motherfuckers are going to be like, oh, yeah, let's do red flag laws because, like, the federal government's going to give us money, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Well, Rich, just moments ago, the White House putting out a statement from President Biden saying that this is a proposal. This is just the first step in agreement on principles. We're not seeing full legislation right now.
And I'll tell you what's going on with what's not in the Senate gun deal, at the very least. Here it is. And, I fucking told you this was going to happen. I even told the BBC that this was going to happen. Even the Queen might have heard me say these fucking words, bruv. I told you and the Queen and the BBC World News crowd that this is precisely what was going to happen. If there is a bipartisan compromise, it's going to revolve around a whole bunch of nothing and deflections away from the main problem, which is ease of access to weapons. Here's what's in the deal. Key senators announced a deal on gun legislation after negotiations led by Murphy and Cornyn. Red flag laws, enhanced background checks for 18 to 21, clarify FFL definition, mental health money, school safety money. What's not in the Senate gun deal is no ban on semi-automatic weapons, no ban on high-capacity magazines, no 21 minimum age to buy AR-15 style rifles, and no universal background checks. If it passes, the Senate deal will be the most significant gun violence prevention in legislation in nearly 3 decades. The deal follows public opinion shifts towards stricter gun laws as mass shootings become a regular feature of American life. What's incredible about this is that this is, unironically, the most comprehensive legislation passed in the past 3 decades with regards to gun laws because, and you might be shocked to find out, it's the only one that is passed if it passes in the Senate. That's why. Because we don't pass gun laws in this country. That's not a thing that we do. So, of course, when you're starving and when you're thirsty and you haven't had water because you're crawling to the fucking desert, if someone pisses on you, you're going to be like, well, that's cool. Like, at least I can, get a little bit of hydration from your piss. And that's what Congress is doing. It's pissing on our fucking faces, okay? And for the record, it hasn't even passed yet. Senator Schumer praises the bipartisan gun deal, saying Congress is on the path to take meaningful action to address gun violence. We must move swiftly to advance the legislation because if a single life can be saved, it's worth the effort. POTUS says he wants to sign the Senate gun agreement into law ASAP. Each day that passes, more children are killed in this country. The sooner it comes to my desk, the sooner I can sign it, the sooner we can use those measures to save lives. A notable bit of Dem opposition on the school provisions from a lawmaker who says he'd reluctantly still vote yes. The deal can save lives, but it grants credence to the GOP's deranged focus on turning schools into fortresses. With tremendous frustration, I will vote yes if this makes it back to the House, and then continue to fight against getting weapons of war off our streets. The carefully worded McConnell says, I continue to hope their discussions yield a bipartisan product that makes significant headway on key issues like mental health and school safety, respects Second Amendment, earns broad support in the Senate, and makes a difference for our country. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, lawmakers have reached a broad deal on gun control. We talked about this yesterday. Let's take a look at what bipartisanship for the sake of bipartisanship looks like. And before any motherfuckers say, congressional gridlock was avoided, this is a cause for celebration, oh my God. Like, first of all, we don't even have it yet, okay? We don't know what the final bill is going to look like, okay? We don't know any of that shit. Mitch McConnell has said, yeah, I'm glad that we reached a bipartisan consensus, but also didn't even say anything else until the bill is finalized. So if you think that, like, oh, there's 10 Republicans that are involved in this fucking bill, so, like, it's a lock, it's a definite, wait till they decide, actually, we just don't want to fucking work. We do not want to work. We decided We simply do not want to fucking work with the Democratic Party and then choose to fucking spoil it for no reason. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I mean, what am I even saying at this point? This is just like kind of my job. This is the only thing I tell you. All right, let's watch.
We do have a lot of news to get to. The breakthrough on gun safety. People were marching across the country over the weekend in the wake of the spike in nationwide mass shootings.
As a bipartisan group of senators reached a deal on a package of measures that
Dude, this is such fucking media bait. Like, it's like fucking selling lolicon outside of a fucking libertarian convention, okay? They're gonna eat this shit up. The media loves bipartisan compromise as much as libertarians love, lolly porn, okay?
that is limited in scope would still be the most significant federal legislation on the issue in nearly 30 years.
This morning, a bipartisan breakthrough after nationwide calls for reform.
What do we want? Gun control. Where do we want it? Now.
Senators announced a deal on gun safety.
Once the text is finalized, I will put this bill on the floor ASAP, as soon as possible.
Thank you for describing what ASAP is. Dude, all of the fucking worst people are hyping this shit up. Now, part of me wants to admit and recognize and say, you know what? Yeah, this is the only legislation that's passed in the past decade on gun control. So, like, technically it is a pivotal accomplishment. If you have nothing, then, like, a crumb seems good. Right. But also at the same time, as I said on the BBC interview to the Oibruvs, like, this kind of compromise is not actually broad reaching solutions and simply just a little bit of bones, you know, for everyone to just shut the fuck up. These meddling kids that constantly are like, oh, God, give us something, anything. OK, give us something, anything. So they're like, all right, we'll give you something. We'll give you like a little bit.
Lawmakers were under immense pressure to act. Thousands taking to the streets this weekend calling for change.
Stop the violence. Stop the violence.
With a deal in hand, Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn stating the tragedies in Uvalde and elsewhere cried out for action. And this morning, Parkland survivor David Hogg says this time may finally be different.
It makes me want to cry like tears of happiness. This is just a first step. It's not the last.
It's like, all right, I guess it's good then. No, this is good, boys. We got it. Pack it up. The media already is working with David Hogg. Shit's good now, okay? You say it's bad, fuck you. What more do you want, dude? Children to not be fucking murdered? What are you, some kind of pussy? Like... There are parts of the March for Our Live platform that I don't even agree with, like a fucking ban on AR-15s across the board. I think is not the smart solution. The smart solution in this circumstance is actually fucking making sure that there's heavy regulation and licensing. Like, universal background checks is not even what I want. I want to go further than that. I want licensing for every gun. You have a gun, you have to do fucking... you have to get a license for it, especially because, like, I also don't think that the banning the AR-15 is going to be a popular enough policy, considering how popular the gun is. Like, the AR-15 is more popular than every Democrat. Okay. Let's be real. It's like trying to fucking ban the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what I mean? That gun is, unfortunately, way more fucking popular than like 90% of the Democratic Party. Okay? So silly. Just speaking nonsense here. Licensing. I know. I'm just a silly Billy. Okay?
Senators have agreed on a framework, but this is far from a done deal. Senators will next have to draft this legislation. One Republican source telling me the details of this bill will be absolutely critical to making sure enough Republicans stay on board to get it across the finish line. Michael, they want to see the fine print.
So, yeah, lawmakers on reaching a broad deal on gun control. Mitch McConnell came out and said, hold on one second, let's find this real quick. Mitch McConnell touts supported bipartisan product after Senate gun proposal was announced. He said he applauded the group of 20 senators who announced earlier in the day that they reached a framework on gun legislation, potentially. McConnell deputized Senator John Cornyn to negotiate with Chris Murphy and other Democrats on gun-related measures following a string of high-profile mass shootings, including a massacre at an elementary school in Cornyn's home state. Now, let me tell you something. One of the most interesting parts about this bipartisan compromise is that, like, the majority of the Republicans that are engaging in it, they're all retiring. American politics have gotten to a point where it's like you just have to wait for like 10 Republicans to retire so you can get legislation through, which, by the way, is still not guaranteed. Like, almost all of the fucking Republicans that are on this, like, reasonable but like not even broad sweeping not even actually, meeting the fucking bare minimum of what is a necessity at this point. And even then it's like, yeah, we have to we're retiring, so that's why. Or we just won our re-election and we're like pretty safe. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? We need to retire members at 70? Dude, I would melt congresspersons if it were up to me. Like, legislation wise, like, you can be like the fucking, all-powerful God Congress member, okay? But you get melted at the age of 70. Like, if you're still in office. Not even 70, 65. Fuck it. Yes, I know that hurts Bernie as well, but, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. Any bill would need 10 Republicans to sign on. That many GOP lawmakers signed the announcement released on Sunday. McConnell said he hoped the lawmakers would come to a consensus on what he called a bipartisan product. I hope to continue to hope their discussions yield a bipartisan product that makes significant headway on key issues like mental health and school safety, respects the Second Amendment, earns broad support in the Senate, and makes a difference for our country. McConnell said on Sunday. Pat Toomey, who's been involved in negotiations, said last week he hoped for half of his Senate Republican colleagues would vote for the potential bill. No, they're not. They're not going to do that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll pass it. Maybe they'll pass it. Maybe they won't. The bill itself is only significant because of the otherwise inactive Congress on this issue, okay? The only reason why you would consider this to be a signature or a pivotal achievement in terms of gun control is because there has been no achievement in terms of gun control, no legislation in terms of gun control since like the assault weapons ban, I would say. So, that's where it is. And also every state legislature is already like working to make it so that like you literally have to have a gun on you at any given moment. Like, I feel like the Ohio state legislature is going to pass like a new bill. They already passed constitutional carry, okay, open carry. I feel like they're going to pass, like, while this is happening at the congressional level, state legislatures are passing like bills where it's like it's illegal not to have a gun on you. So like if you don't have a gun on you, we're going to pass like a dueling provision where if you don't have a gun on you at any given moment, like the person that has a gun can kill you legally. You know what I mean? Like, that's where we're at in America at this point. So excuse me for being a little black-pilled. And hey, if you want to do something about it, take it up to the Supreme Court. Oh wait, you can't, because the Supreme Court is fucking psychotic. Like, you're gonna have like Idaho being like, Ohio just enabled PvP. Well, we won't stop there. Turns out actually, it's the caught lacking bill. Okay. Well, Idaho has passed new legislation in the state legislature where if you have a larger caliber, that means you get to win by default. You can kill the other person legally, okay? Even if both people are armed, even if both parties are armed, the person with a larger caliber gets to win the PvP across the board. Yeah, see? Dude, look. A new Ohio law cuts the training required for teachers and staff to carry guns in schools to a maximum of 24 hours, down from 700. Fucking gang shit, dude. That's what I'm talking about, dude. America unlocked PvP, dude. While employees for years have been allowed to carry guns on the school grounds with the consent of the local school board, the Ohio Supreme Court ruled in 2021 that same basic peace officer training as law enforcement officials or security officers who carry firearms on campus, entailing more than 700 hours of instruction. That ruling, Mr. DeWine said on Monday, had made it largely impractical for Ohio school districts to allow staffers to carry firearms. I wonder why. Oh, that's awesome, dude. That made it too impractical for teachers to fucking do constitutional carry, baby. Oh, it doesn't end there. Ohio also passed permitless carry, which is great. Thank you, Governor Mike DeWine, for signing a bill into law. In March, Ohioans 21 years old and older no longer need a permit or to complete an 8-hour handgun training course to carry and conceal a firearm. The law also eliminates requiring gun carriers to inform police officers that they have a concealed weapon on them. Dude, PvP unlocked, dude. Ohio is sick. I'm never going there. Holy shit. Talking a lot of shit on Ohio for someone who's the most popular streamer there. Bro, the dumber Ohio gets, the more I'm gonna fucking have like reasonable Ohioans be like, this sucks. I'm gonna watch this guy shitting on my fucking state. What the fuck? No way cops signed off on that one? Dude, are you kidding me? Are you joking, dude? Cops are the fucking sickos that like this shit. What do you mean? Ohio is tilted towers, dude. Public safety isn't a partisan issue. We all want our communities to be safe from gun violence, which is why we're trying to make it so that every community can have gun violence. You know what I mean? They're like equal opportunity gun violence advocates, okay? Permitless concealed carry makes it exponentially harder for law enforcement to prevent gun crimes, which in turn makes all of us less safe, and handing someone a gun without adequate training is a recipe for disaster, says Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey. What a pussy, dude. That's right, brother. Fuck these cops. Bunch of pussy-ass cops saying, I can't be doing, constitutional concealed carry. Do you really think libs should still focus on taking away small concealed handguns? They're still going to be carried by gang members, whether it's legal or not. The AR-15s are being used to massacre children. Dude, what are you saying? Why are there people in this community that are repeating NRA lines? Like, dude, any kind of fucking restriction that stops people or at least puts like one level of check or a hurdle in front of like the average person being able to purchase a weapon is a good thing, okay? Especially when that restriction revolves around like mental health evaluations or training, proper training and licensing. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit if like, criminals are able to own one. What do you think? Like the inverse of that argument is that like what? You're gonna fucking stop a crimer from killing you with a fucking Glock that has a Glock switch on it and shit? Like, is that what you think? You're just gonna get like, you're about to get your fucking car stolen, and what? You're gonna fucking pull out the 9 and be like, call an ambulance, but not for me. Is that what you think is gonna happen? You're gonna fucking die, idiot. Like, what is this? No, I'm gonna run away. Okay, good. Then smart. Like, motherfuckers actually think they're gonna stop like, gang shootings from happening or something. And it's like, where do you live? Naperville.